History didn't change with an explosion that night. It changed quietly, through confidence, routine, and assumption. In April 1912, the Titanic was more than a ship. It represented human ambition, engineering pride, and an unshakable belief in progress. It was designed to prove, once and for all, that technology had finally conquered nature. The Titanic was called unsinkable. This wasn't just a marketing slogan. It was a firm conclusion drawn from its advanced design and construction. This powerful belief shaped every single decision made on board, from the highest-ranking officer to the crewman below deck. The Iceberg, as we remember it, did not destroy the Titanic by itself. The disaster was already in motion long before that fateful collision. The night of April 14th was unusually calm. The ocean was flat, almost mirror-like, a sheet of dark glass stretching to the horizon. There were no waves to break against the base of an iceberg, no white foam to catch the eye, no moonlight reflecting off the ice. This stillness, this perfect calm, made the iceberg nearly invisible in the profound darkness. High above the deck, in the crow's nest, the lookouts scanned the horizon. Their task was monumental, and they relied on only one tool, their own eyesight. The ship's binoculars were not available. They were locked away in a storage cabinet. The key to that locker, a simple piece of metal, never made it onto the ship. It remained behind in Southampton, a forgotten object, a minor oversight. It was a detail that seemed completely irrelevant at the time. Warnings of ice continued to arrive throughout the day and into the evening. Nearby ships, navigating the same treacherous waters, sent wireless messages. These reports described vast ice fields and dangerous conditions directly in the Titanic's path. Each warning was received by the wireless operators. Each warning was acknowledged, and each warning was ultimately, fatally, underestimated. The Titanic maintained its speed, pressing onward through the night. A schedule had to be kept. Confidence, born from the ship's perceived invincibility, consistently overruled caution. The very calm of the sea, which might have seemed a blessing, removed the final layer of natural protection. Without the telltale sign of waves breaking at its base, the iceberg revealed itself only at the last possible moment. When the massive shape finally loomed out of the darkness, the reaction from the bridge was immediate, but tragically insufficient. Orders were shouted. The wheel was turned hard over. In the engine room, telegraphs rang and engineers scrambled to reverse the mighty engines. But on the vast, unforgiving ocean, seconds matter. The immense momentum of the ship was too great. The maneuver came too late. The ship didn't crash head-on, as many imagine. It scraped along the side of the submerged ice. It was a quiet, prolonged contact, a grinding shudder that many passengers barely noticed. But below the waterline, out of sight, the real damage unfolded silently. Steel plates buckled, rivets popped. Water began to pour into one watertight compartment, then another, and then another. The ship's revolutionary design allowed it to survive extensive flooding. It could stay afloat with its first 4 compartments completely breached. But the iceberg had sliced through 6. Beyond that critical point, the outcome was mathematically fixed. The ship was doomed. Inside the opulent lounges and cabins, the initial response was controlled. Orders were given calmly. Passengers were gently woken and asked to come on deck, reassured that it was merely a precaution. The crew began to prepare the lifeboats, but they didn't fill them. In the early stages, many people, passengers and crew alike, believed a full-scale evacuation was unnecessary. Why would it be? The ship still looked and felt stable. The lights were all on. The band was famously playing on deck. Why panic? This was the Titanic, the unsinkable ship. And so, the first lifeboats were lowered half-empty, with women and children hesitant to leave the perceived safety of the massive liner for a small boat in the freezing, dark ocean. Precious opportunities were lost. Minute by minute, as time passed, that initial certainty slowly, agonizingly, dissolved. The deck began to tilt at an undeniable angle. Reality began to replace confidence. But by then, the situation was irreversible. The window for an orderly evacuation had closed. More than 1,500 people lost their lives that night, not because of one single catastrophic failure, but because of a chain of small decisions and seemingly minor details. A missing key, a series of ignored warnings, an unwavering speed, an unnaturally calm sea, and a fatally delayed response, rooted in overconfidence. History remembers the iceberg as the villain of the story, but the iceberg was only the final trigger. The real, underlying cause was belief, the unshakable belief that nothing could possibly go wrong. This is the butterfly effect of the Titanic, a stark reminder that history's most dangerous moments are rarely loud and explosive. They are quiet, they are routine, and they are confidently ignored. For more stories where history turns on the smallest of moments, subscribe to History